Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your March 2024 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, take out the cross spread as always, and also pull the 4 agreements and wisdom of the oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off our Roll Nose Astrology. I see we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Right, well, we have Libra, so the focus should be on you guys this month. But yeah, there will be a full moon eclipse in your sign toward the end of the month, so definitely be some significance with that. All right, we have Pluto, and Pluto recently moved back into Aquarius, which is your 5th house of romance, creativity, children. And when we do have that full moon eclipse in Libra, it's actually going to make a trine with Pluto, so more significance with that. And once again, we see 1, so that would be you guys in this context. So yeah, could just be saying that you're focusing on yourselves a lot. 1st house in general points to personality, self-awareness, appearance. All right, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Ace of Wands, and then challenging that, we have the Devil. So this is Capricorn energy here. And what I'm seeing with this, I feel like this is saying you have this desire for adventure, right? But you might feel like you're bogged down by day-to-day responsibilities. That's really how this came across to me first. It's not the only way that it might translate, but for some of you, could let's see. Another way I could see this playing out, for example, is maybe if there's been something that you've just felt attached to and almost obligated to do, but you feel called to something new. That's another way it could play out, right? But like I said, maybe you feel like you have an obligation to finish out something. So that's a possibility as well. And for some of you, it could just be saying that maybe you might have a tendency to find yourselves getting into an addictive, obsessive type of energy when you start something new. So that could just be cautioning against that as well. Right, in the foundation position, we have the Tower. So yeah, for some of you who feel like you have had difficulty breaking away from something that you felt like you needed a break from, right? The Tower card could actually come along and remove that for you. Of course, it's usually never in the most comfortable of ways when it's removed for us versus when we're actually able to proactively remove something from our lives that needs to go. But given that like we mentioned, there will be that full moon eclipse in your sign toward the end of March, could definitely possibly point to that. And really, at the time of recording this, we haven't had the full moon in Virgo yet either. A lot less intense astrologically speaking, but it will be in your 12th house. So this is some kind of addictive tendencies you guys have had. That might be a time that could help that energy loosen up on you as well. All right, in the past position, we have the Queen of Swords. So this is something that you might have grappled with in the past, and you might have actually been able to overcome it in the past as well. So it could just be one of those things. Maybe it's reared its ugly head again, right? And you're just feeling like, okay, I need to break away from the cycle, from this pattern, right? You might have felt like you had overcome it in the past, and now you feel like you're finding yourself back in that position again. All right, in the present position, we have the Empress. So this could be an indicator that, at least for some of you, you may have already overcome the situation, right? So it could just be one of those things saying that as we come into March, some of you might have already gone through that Tower moment that removed that energy from your lives, and now you're able to relax and enjoy yourselves, right? So like I said, I still feel like the first thing that came to mind when I saw those cards is most likely how it's playing out for a lot of you, which is, like I said, you feel like you have this desire for adventure, right? But you just felt like you were just so bogged down with work, responsibilities, that you couldn't really go out and do that. And to me, this looks like you're able to break free. Right. In the near future position, we have the Strength card. And yeah, so for those of you, if this was playing out where, like I said, maybe more of an addictive tendency type of situation goes, I feel like this is saying that you're actually doing a good job of managing, holding that back as well, right? So that's a positive there. Yeah, it's primarily what I'm getting with that. I feel like this is saying that if you do feel like you get some insatiable desires around things sometimes, I feel like this is saying that you're doing a really good job of managing that to your liking this month, or at least you will in the near future. All right. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Lovers. So this is Gemini energy here. So yeah, for some of you, maybe this is the energy that you're in right now. So for example, if you've been very much the type to go it alone with things, right? Maybe now this is saying you're seeking more of a partnership in a situation. Now, of course, there are quite a few parallels with the artwork with these two cards, right? I mean, we see the feminine and masculine energies together, although here they're chained, whereas there they're free. We see the winged being in the background, right? So it could just be one of those things where if this has been more of a burden to you, you might actually find a way to leverage it to become more of a blessing, right? So, for example, like I said, if you let's say you just have an addictive personality in general, right? And in the past, that's led to more destructive habits. Now you might have found a way to flip it to where you could control it more and actually apply that obsessive tendency toward things that benefit you in a positive way. So that's another way that could be playing out as well. All right, in the environment position, we have the Three of Pentacles. So yeah, this is Capricorn energy here as well. Again, like we said, that could point to working, right? So again, like I said, if this was just a situation, which I initially felt for you guys, where maybe you just feel like you want to get a bit more adventure, right? Go out and do things. It could just be as simple as the time of year, too, right? Because depending on where you are, for example, if you're in the northern hemisphere, we still have the shorter days now. So some people, depending on their hours that they work and their commute, it might feel like they wake up to go to work when it's dark, and by the time they get home from work, it's dark again, right? So it could just be one of those things where, like, all right, can I see some sunshine, please? Can I enjoy myself? So it could just be one of those things. And if that's the case, seeing the Three of Pentacles here, it could just be saying that the key might be to collaborate with others, right? To team up with people to help you get the work done faster, right? And you could still be there with them to make sure it's done to the quality that you would like, but just might be the situation where you just need more hands on to get things done. All right, in hopes or fears position, we have the Ten of Cups. So yeah, I'm going to assume for most of you this is hope, right? Where, like I said, you just want to be able to actually enjoy yourselves, shake this dark energy away, right? Whether it be more of an internal dark energy or just figuratively, like we said, with the feeling like you go out when the sun's down, you come home when the sun's down, and your work routine, right? Either way, it looks like you're just hoping to be in a much more bright, playful energy this month. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Death card. So Scorpio energy here. Now, given that this is a finance house for you guys, right, it could just be playing out in a way where, like I was saying, if you guys have just felt like you've just constantly been bogged down by these responsibilities day after day after day, the Death card in that context could just be saying that you might actually be leaving that pattern behind, right? We do see in the background too, it looks like there's a sun in the background, right? So it could even just be saying that, okay, you're breaking that pattern of constantly being up before the sun rises and getting home after the sun already sets, right? Could just be saying you're breaking that type of pattern. And possibly for a lot of you, could have been fueled because you might have felt this obsessive desire for money, right? But then you might have just gotten to a breaking point where, like, well, what's the point of me accumulating all this money if I never have the opportunity to go out and enjoy it, right? So some of you could just be a bit of a shift of mentality this month. And like we said, given that there will be a full moon eclipse in your sign toward the end of the month, and then making that trine with Pluto energy, which is the ruler of Scorpio as well, would make sense if that's how it plays out for some of you. All right, and bottom of the deck we have the Eight of Wands. So this is Sagittarius energy here. Yeah, it could just be saying that you want to get a lot done, right? You want to have a lot of communication, but we see a much brighter energy here versus the energies we were talking about, the three really dark cards, right? So it could just be one of those things where getting organized, right? Like I said, maybe teaming up with others to get things done is going to be the key for you this month. And of course, Sagittarius energy in general is very adventurous. Alright, so moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have don't take anything personally, and it says relinquish self-importance. Alright, it says personal importance or taking things personally is the maximum expression of selfishness because we make the assumption that everything is about me. So interesting wording there, right? Because maybe if that was what was fueling you in some way, right? That you felt like this obsessive desire to acquire things, right? Maybe that could be how the strength card is playing out for some of you in that regard, right? Where if you came to the realization, for example, that maybe your ego would get the best of you at times, that could represent being able to manage that, right? And realize that, okay, yeah, that could actually get in your way in a lot of situations. I don't feel like that's the case for most of you, but hopefully that resonated for those of you if it did. Moving on to the Wisdom of the Oracle, we have regeneration. There's the artwork, and the number is 46. Okay, essential meanings says rebirth, second chances, new opportunities. The Oracle's message, second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, right? Because we said it looks like you're breaking free of something that might have been bogging you down and making you feel like you couldn't actually enjoy yourself. So it looks like you could be coming out of that this month. All right, the relationship message says the world is based on connections and relationships. No matter what loss has occurred in the past or even now, death and endings are only illusions. There is life after death and love after loss. And in this moment, you are radiating the regenerative life force energy that makes you irresistible to love in all forms. Now is the time when you will see evidence of this new emergence. Can you feel it? Love is rising up to greet you. So interesting reading Love is Rising Up to Greet You, because obviously you guys have the lovers in your position, right? And we see what looks like an angelic figure rising up in the background. So hopefully that resonates with you guys. And the prosperity message says, what happens when it appears you failed at something? Do you see the beauty in the lesson? The understanding that rises from difficulties is like a seed that lies dormant for a time. Then once it germinates in your subconscious, it pushes through into your awareness. It is becoming apparent that there is a new you, a new start. A more powerful version and form of what you began to plant in the garden of your imagination has surfaced. You are ripe for success. New opportunities, much better than those that came before, appear like gifts from the gods. Now is one of those times when out of seeming loss and failure comes remarkable abundance. Do not dwell on the past because you really are experiencing a rebirth. So, definitely an interesting message there because that makes me think of the lover's energy again. And then also seeing that death card in the outcome, right? Where, like I said, if there was something that you were attached to, maybe an older version of you that didn't necessarily suit you anymore when it came to prosperity, this could be you reconnecting with that new version, the new vision that you have for yourselves as well. So, hope it resonates for you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.